Hello and welcome, I'm your host, The Hidden One, and let's get right into another video. Okay, so something I imagine most of you won't know about me is I really like a game called Call of War, and it's basically like Hearts of Iron 4 but for cheap people who can't afford Hearts of Iron 4. So this is what we're going to be playing today. So I did record this video already, but I was really disappointed with some of the audio. It was sounding really bad, so I thought I would re-record it because I want you guys to be getting the best from me. I don't want to be pumping out bad videos. So although I have, I mean that's subjective. That's up to you guys. Okay, so today we're playing as the Southern United States, and this is in an alternate timeline in history before the Second World War. Yeah, because I mean Germany's united, so has to be. And Czechoslovakia is there, so that helps. Yeah, but I think it's quite abstract how the borders look. I don't think it's specific really to any particular time. I mean, obviously, Southern United States is here. That wouldn't be here normally. But nonetheless, I am here and I have chosen it for its strategic advantages. So, for example, you're not in this mess of Europe. I mean, if you're playing Germany, sure, it's quite a good spot to launch from, in that there are lots of small countries here, like the lowlands, and obviously Denmark and Austria, Switzerland, Czechoslovakia. But then you have some big players surrounding you: UK, France, Italy, Yugoslavia, Greater Romania, Poland, Sweden. You're surrounded, so it is actually quite a weak position as well. Though it does have a good advantage in that it has a very small coastline. That is probably my weakness, but as you can see, we have started to attempt to counter that. So we have oh, okay, not there. Here we've built a naval base, so we will be able to start constructing naval vessels soon to defend ourselves with it. And also at Savannah we've also done that, but the priority at the minute is to build a land army, and that's why in all of my provinces, in my previous video, which you guys haven't got to see unfortunately because of the poor audio, I started just doing the setup and of the country and the economic side. So here, for example, so my strategy is to build barracks in every main industrial city. So build it in Atlanta, Charlotte, Savannah, Jacksonville, and Miami. That's what I tend to build first. The reason being is because it allows you to build basic troops in every industrialized area, and also because it gives you a nice little manpower production boost, and also it decreases the time that it takes to create some basic units. So that's really important. But obviously it does come at the cost of wheat, because apparently that's what it takes to create soldiers. Lots of food, lots of fine cuisine. And then as for diplomacy at the minute, we're moving some of our troops up there. They do want up to so the border with Northern United States, but they want to be friends with us, it seems, and so does Canada. So it seems the strategy is going to be we work as a team to basically push across into the old world. But I mean, normally I'm a lone wolf. I like to play on my own and take over others that way. And sometimes I lie to get my way, and it's quite funny, but also really annoying if you're in that position. So yeah, it's a good strategy, by the way. So you definitely employ that if you're playing this game, but not against me. If you guys want to play Call of War with me, then hit me up. I will be more than happy to play with you guys. It could potentially be featured on the channel. That would be awesome. But of course, this is mainly an Assassin's Creed channel, but it is just gaming as well. And this is, I said in my channel intro, that I'll play games on here that I like, and this is one of them. So this is why we're playing it. We don't have enough resources to play, so to get that. But I could buy it with gold, but I don't really like to spend money on gold. I do have it, but I'd rather not. Gold is like the gems in Clash of Clans, or it's the monetary currency. So you have to actually buy it, as you can see here, and it gets quite expensive. It's who would spend this money on Call of War? I don't know, but no. I'm not into that. One thing we could do in the future is we could betray these guys, but I don't know if they're going to watch these videos or not, and this is going to be releasing fairly soon, so maybe not a good idea. So I guess my obvious move is to expand into Little Cuba, which will be barely defended. It'll give us some nice munchies here, some good old wheat, and then some basic supplies. That's always useful, and of course just men, and also we get some points. So the way it works in this game is you have to get victory points, and everyone starts off, I think in this game mode, with the same number of points, except maybe the UK. Let me check. No, okay, so we all start off with 40. Yep, so there's me, the hidden one, with 40. And then anyone that's not got that number is most likely AI. In fact, they are all AI. So that is how it works. And so when I take this, I'll gain 2 points. So that would mean that I have 42 victory points. And whoever owns the most by the end, so here, control 521 points for victory. So that is for an individual. So if you're an individual and you somehow conquer loads of the world and end up with 521 points, which is definitely possible. It's quite easy to do if you know what you're doing. I've done it myself a few times. You'll win, and then your reward is gold. So you don't have to buy gold. You can earn it just by being good at the game, which is, I think, a very fair system. And then, of course, there is if you join a coalition, again you need a certain number of points to win, but because it's a shared victory, of course the rewards will be split, and also the expectation is your coalition has to control more than an individual would to win. But still, it's a very good deal, considering 3 would have to take over less to win what 1 would. So what I'm trying to say is an individual would have to take over less overall to win, whereas the coalition as a whole would have to take over more of the map. So that is what it is. I always think the map looks cool, and it changes every day depending on where the borders are sitting. So we'll be interested in seeing that. You can also take part in the articles. So I've decided I'm going to be a nice guy, or at least pretend to be a nice guy. So Italy's like, oh, we want peace, and Europe, please don't go into war. But of course, this is a war game, so I'm just playing with people. I'm saying, yeah, I want peace. It's all nice, but actually, we're going to be invading a few people, you know, just maybe just along here, you know. So that is the plan as of now. Not much more to say. I've been your host, The Hidden One. I hope to continue this series. If you like it, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome, I'm your host, The Hidden One, and let's get right back into another video. So, this is the second episode of my Let's Play of Call of War, and it's been about just over a week since I've last played, and quite a bit's happened. So, I've taken over Cuba, which was one of the aims that I said I would go for, and I've also taken over Western Sahara, which is like this little country here, and then I have also taken over Morocco, which was a player country. So I've done quite well, but it's getting very competitive. So here we have Germany and Yugoslavia. They've done very well. They're both active players, and so is Sweden. So Sweden and Germany are allies. They're in the same alliance. And so that's something to contend with. And I think Yugoslavia might be in their alliance as well. Let me check. Okay, then. Oh! Okay, there's been a change since I was last on. So Sweden and Yugoslavia are allies. So that makes me think, are they enemies with Germany at the minute? Let's have a look. Okay, so they're not enemies with Germany at the minute, or at least Yugoslavia isn't. Let me check. Okay, so they're not enemies at the minute, but that could potentially be a thing. Germany being surrounded, I pointed that out last time, that Germany's in a very weak position in terms of being surrounded by potentially powerful nations. But Germany's taken over a lot. They've taken over the majority of northern Italy, the main industrial area of Italy, and they've taken over. What's going on here with these borders? They've taken over literally all of Belgium except for the capital, which is arguably the most important bit. The UK owns that for some strange reason. They've taken over Denmark, majority of Poland. Oh my goodness, these borders! Oh, they are pretty horrific. Look here as well. What is going on? Oh, okay. They need to really sort their act out. Russian Empire took over that, but they've been very quiet recently. I think they'll probably go inactive. You tend to see quite a few countries go inactive. Turkey's gone inactive. Egypt, Libya, Algeria. So the main threats really were Germany, and then I guess Yugoslavia and Sweden. They're players to consider. And then on the other side of the Atlantic, or the pond as we in Britain call it, it's a bit interesting. So I was allies with Northern States of America and Canada. However, I have since learned that North America and Canada are friends in real life. And Canada basically is new to the game and doesn't really care much about it. So I thought, well, I'm just going to take them out. I'd rather have the land and do something useful with it. So I just sneaked across North American land and just then attacked Canada, and no one really cared. And it was alright. Then Northern United States was like, oh, hang on, that's my mate. We don't want to do that. Yeah, I took over Washington briefly. That's why it's damaged. And yet this guy still trusts me. He thinks, oh, I'll join the coalition again. We'll get Canada back and sorted. Yeah, I have no intention of relinquishing Canada. Again, this game, I said a good strategy is betrayal, and that is sadly the case. Um, it's not so much that I had an issue with working with these two countries. The issue was that they weren't pulling their weight as much as I was. Northern states of America have done okay, to be fair, but because I took over their capital, then a load of Spain rebelled, which made their life a bit more difficult. Yeah, so at the minute, my intention is to take over all of Canada. Northern United States won't be able to do much about it. They might moan, I might just take over them as well while I'm at it. Who knows? I'm being a bit too nice to them. I should probably just invade them. So let's look at the diplomacy and see where we are with countries. So Saudi Arabia's imposed a trade embargo on me. That's because I've become more aggressive. You see that. Oh dear, we're having a bit of an issue. Okay, we're connected again. Sorry about that. That was just some poor internet stuff going on there. So, yeah, I probably will take over Northern United States. I don't know why I've delayed doing it, to be honest. I should just get on with it. The only issue is I don't want to make myself too unpopular. So what happens is if you start being really aggressive, then countries will start imposing trade embargoes, and then if you continue to do this even more, then they may even declare war on you. So that's what happens. So yeah, as for my future plans, it's probably take over all of North America, betray the coalition, because I'm just so nice like that. Probably won't do much with the UK unless they attack Canada with me. I might have to fend them off. And then I was originally going to expand into Africa, but instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to fortify Africa, like this border here, so that if the AI do declare war on me, I'm prepared. And then I'll push. I'll probably have to take over Spain because that's where the majority of northern United States' troops are. And then just wait it out, I guess. I've placed a submarine here just in case Sweden, Germany, or Yugoslavia decide, you know what, we want to expand out of Europe, so I want to stop that in its tracks. I need to get more ships over there, so I'll just move this over there to the Strait of Gibraltar, and this here as well. Okay. Yeah, so that's it really for this game, but I do have another game going on at the minute, which is on a different map, so I will be showing that to you now. So, in this game mode, which is 25 player 1939 Historic World War, we're playing as one of the not so powerful countries, Spain. So in this game mode, you don't all start on an equal playing field. You play with a similarly matched army to the historic realities of the Second World War. So Germany has a huge armoured army and quite a good air force. UK has a massive overseas empire with a massive navy, that sort of thing. And then France has quite a big army as well. But as you can see, we have progressed from that point. So the UK is in collapse. Ireland and then France, which is my ally, have taken over the UK because the UK attacked France at the beginning of the game. And I decided to ally with France because I'm basically surrounded by France, whether it's by their colony of North Africa and then up to the north here. So I thought that would be a good strategy, and I played it quite safe at the beginning. I didn't really do anything. I just built up my army. And the first country I was at war with was the UK, so I took over Gibraltar because that's vital for controlling whoever goes in and out of the Mediterranean. And then so then I took over Newfoundland, St George's. I did take over Nassau as well, but it did rebel back to Britain. And then we were allies with Argentina, but then they went inactive and basically got defeated by one of the smallest nations in Uruguay, which is quite embarrassing. So it's one of the smallest nations, which is Uruguay, I mean. So that's quite embarrassing. But they did take the Falklands, so they have achieved that at least. So yes, I've just been allies with France. And now I'm finally getting out there and doing things. So I've invaded my little neighbour, Portugal. And I intend to conquer their what's left of their empire, so Mozambique, and then I think that's modern day Angola. And then my eyes are somewhat on Canada, because Canada has a very, very weak land army at the beginning of the game. And as you can see from their expansion into the United States, it's not really a very strong army moving in. It's not a solid unit pushing through. It's more they've probably taken they've taken a spread of units and then they've just sort of drawn across to try and take it. But the United States isn't an easy nation to invade, and nor is Canada, because Canada is, from a morale standpoint, it's quite difficult to invade Canada if you're not close enough to it. But I think Spain could get away with it. So something I didn't explain is morale is quite an important feature of the game. So I took over Nassau, but it rebelled. That's because the morale was really low, and that means that if you're taking over a country that's far away, it's more likely to rebel against your invasion. Even if you are militarily superior. So it does take quite a lot more resources to deal with rebellions. So as for what I intend to do from here, so I just accepted Turkey as a member of the alliance between France and myself. Argentina was part of that alliance, however they have gone inactive. My intention really for the future is to expand into the New World. So I was thinking originally, I'll go and expand into these AI countries of Peru, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela. But I think that because I'm somewhat closer to Canada, well, actually it's not that big a difference. Either way, I am going to attack Canada. I've got quite a good launch pad here at St. John's, so I'll move my armies here to attack that. And then I'm also going to attack Ireland, and the reason why is because they've been... Basically, the AI has taken over quite a bit of the UK, which means a lot of their troops are in the UK, so they've just made themselves extremely vulnerable to attack. And then I'll also finish off the UK along with France. So France is going to get England and Wales, and I'll be getting Northern Ireland, Ireland and Scotland. So we're going to divide up here, so I'll be getting everything above Carlisle and Sunderland. So yes, that's it for now. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. It's a bit different from what I've done before. Yeah, tell me what you think. If you'd rather I return to some more Assassin's Creed videos, I do have some in the works, by the way. Do tell me, and I may reduce the number of these I do, or at least reduce the number of updates, because I will still be playing this. Yeah. I have been your host, The Hidden One. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome, I'm your host, The Hidden One, and let's get right into another Call of War video. So this is the third episode of the Call of War Let's Play. And today I thought we'd start with Spain, because this has been a much more interesting game than my original. And so I thought I'd divert attention here, but I will go to the original game as well and update you on that. So, last time I think we were talking about the UK, invading the UK, so I was going to get Scotland and Ireland, but as you can see I've got a bit more than that at the minute. And then also we were talking about invading Canada, and I can tell you that has gone extremely well. We've basically ruined Canada's army, which was invading the United States. And so they're in serious trouble. The player actually panicked and decided to quit the game because they're no longer active. So I'm currently invading both the United States, which went inactive when Canada invaded them, and Canada. So they're in pretty weak positions, but there's still pockets of resistance. So here, for example, we've still got some troops of the United States, and we've dealt with many more. But it is a mess at the minute. But we have done a very good job, and we've still got more to expand into. But I think my plan is going to be to create a line here, so that I can have some time to recover, develop this land, and then push on. And also you can see that I've started moving troops and ships back to Spain. And so this is where I need to do some explaining. So I did say previously that I was allies with France, because I was surrounded by them, and also they were just good people and we worked well as a team. And they honestly, what a great player. They'd done exceedingly well. They were number one for quite a time in the game. However, this is where Call of War gets really annoying. So what happens is, if you're doing really well in the game, you have war with quite a few other players, then the AI starts to take notice and start imposing trade embargoes on you. So, for example, Germany, I've got a trade embargo imposed by them, who are inactive, so they're controlled by the AI. And then eventually they'll declare war on you and invade you. And this means that you can end up with loads of maybe not as powerful nations declaring war on you, but it's all of them at once that can cause an absolute pain. And it seems that France, they were stretched really thin because they were having to deal with UK, they were having to deal with the Soviet Union, Japan, and they just couldn't cope. So when Germany invaded, their strategy was to go at Germany, but really they would have been better off staying on what was their border with Germany. So unfortunately, France had to leave, as it was just an uphill battle, and they didn't think they were going to win it. And so France has very graciously allowed me to take their holdings in England and Wales, so that's why I'm invading them. And then also I've taken some of their African land, and I'm also invading the south of France with the Germans, which is worrying because the Germans will probably invade me, and that is why I'm moving a lot of my troops back. And so, yeah, see here, all these troops I'm moving back in case Germany invades me. Because I really don't want that. No one wants that. No one wants Germany to invade, because they do have the strongest land army. and because this player decided not to play for some bizarre reason, it means that the AI are now in charge of one of the most advanced and strongest nations in the world. So though I may own a lot, I am not the strongest. I'm the strongest economically, but militarily, I'm definitely not the strongest. And then also Italy, I have to be careful of Italy. They've been like they've just been weird. The players been coming on every now and then, but they've not actually done anything. The only reason they got Chur, which is a province which is part of Switzerland, was because it rebelled from Germany when they were invading France. So, yeah, completely weird. So, I'm not sure how this is all going to turn out, to be honest. So, as for what my strategy is, for the future, so I've strengthened my ties with Romania. They've been an extremely competent player, and so within the last few days we added them to the coalition. Though they've not got a massive army, what they do have is a lot of useful provinces with good resources. So they have a strong economy, and also because it's all contiguous, all of the land is pretty much joined together. It means that they're extremely well placed to fight off invaders, and they can get their armies to their front lines much quicker than I could. For example, where I've even moved my capital from Madrid to Lisbon as a sign of showing that I'm shifting my focus to the new world. So I'm in a position where I could be potentially vulnerable if I'm moving, as I am now. Quite a few troops and ships back to Spain in case of an invasion. So my plan is again to basically take all of North America down this line here, and then build up. I've got to get my morale sorted, and that's partially why I moved the capital a bit closer to North America, because how it works is the closer your provinces are to your capital, the happier, or like the better morale you're going to have. So if I switch to the morale map, so it's displaying morale, you can see that in general North America is definitely not happy. So they're having average morales of below, sub 25, and 25 is when they're likely to rebel. Anything that's 25 or below will have smoke, which indicates that there are riots taking place or a war is going on. And so I'm really having to work on that. So that was partially why I've moved my capital just even slightly. It does help. From Madrid to Lisbon, and then I need to take over the rest of the UK. That should be quite easy, as there's very little land resistance from France. France has made it quite easy. I'm just going to have to be careful about their ships, because they haven't moved those yet. And then I'm going to have to establish a front line that I could defend the Germans with, and I'll have to build fortifications to help, because my army isn't probably going to stand the test of time with Germany. So if I build a good front line along here, maybe I'll be able to fight them more effectively, hopefully drain their army, and then be able to have a counter-attack. But preferably I don't want a war with Germany at all. But I'll probably end up being forced into it. Then Africa, so I'm gonna change the map back. So then there's Africa as well. I'm gonna take over most of French Africa, but I'm gonna have to be mindful as well that I don't drain my food, because unhappy provinces don't really give much back in terms of their resources. So I need to think about that for sure. Yeah, so that's it really for that's it really for this map. And then I guess I will get on to the other map. Yeah, so this map, we've got some, we've clearly made some great progress. We're second on the leaderboard. We've grown massively since last time in terms of our points, and Romania has taken the lead, and they've done extremely well as well. I'm very impressed with them. So yeah, time to move on to the other map, the 25 player first map. So now we are on the 22 player map, where we're the southern United States. And so, as for updating you, northern states of America went inactive as soon as I took out their friend Canada. I think they didn't feel as motivated to play because I'd basically dealt with their friend. And so, despite us being allies, he clearly didn't want to be in an alliance after that. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to be in an alliance with someone who'd betrayed my friend. So that's the situation at the minute. He still owns basically entire countries, though. So, but I don't know. I don't really know how much land they have. Sorry, how many troops he has. So I need to sort of gather my troops, go in heavy, and deal with any resistance I meet. So that's what I'm doing here in Morocco. I've got a huge number of troops there, and here, and here, which is really vital at this stage in the game. Actually, according to the newspaper, I do have the mightiest army. So I own 14% of all of the world's military power, according to this. And then, as for my strategy now, so I'm allies with Yugoslavia and the Russian Empire, and basically we're the last remaining good players. And so we just decided, you know what, we want to kind of get on with finishing this game. So what we're going to do is what we have done is we've made a coalition together. So we're apparently the Axis, or whatever you want to call it. We've got to we need to get us how many points to victory. So the game rules, so the coalition needs to get 715 points in total together to win, which I'm sure we will be able to do quite quickly. If I invade, obviously Iberia and then Great Britain, the British Isles, we should be in a good position to win. And also Russian Empire is going after Sweden. So yeah, I don't think this game will last very long. I was originally going to try and go all across Africa, but really at this point I don't think it's necessary. I just need to maintain some forces in case, again, the AI decide that they don't like me and declare war out of nowhere, which is extremely annoying. So yeah, that's what is going on here. Yeah, we've done very well. I think we've been very lucky, really, in this first Let's Play series. Both in Spain and in the southern United States, we've managed to do a good job. But I do have some criticisms for myself. So one of them is I haven't really built a strong enough air force in this game. So if you look in the research for the air, I haven't even bothered to do any research for the air section, which is pretty bad. But then, have I needed it? Not really. The main focus is have a strong land army to conquer North America, and then you really go full on with the navy. But even then, I've not done a great job with the navy. I've got quite a lot of ships, but I don't have very strong or good ships. The other thing as well is I've really struggled with getting my production of food, wheat, up, despite me investing quite heavily into infrastructure and also in ports. So that's been a bit weird. So in future, what I'd like to do is I'd like to balance my army more so that I can more effectively conquer regions and all of that stuff. But other than that, I think economics-wise, we have done pretty well. I think I've got the strongest economy in this game as well, but that I think it could be stronger. And what it actually says is that the others have done terribly with their economies. And then as well, we've not been number one. We're number two again in this game. We're trailing behind Yugoslavia quite substantially. But then I guess Yugoslavia's got that geographical advantage, and also it's really necessary to take out big players early on in this game mode. Otherwise, later in the game, you'll have AI declaring war on you because you've been invading loads of little countries, and that's something I've done as Yugoslavia before. I invaded all of the little countries, all the AI countries like Hungary, Albania, Greece, Bulgaria, early on, and then I had the strategy of building up after that. And what happened was, once I expanded into Romania and Turkey, I got so unpopular that the AI in Italy was very strong at that point, and then it just invaded me, and then I defeated Italy. Then Germany invaded me, and I was about to defeat Germany, and then France joined in. So yeah, then I was totally in a very bad position. I couldn't win at that point. Sort of like how France is at the minute with Germany. They can't win. It's an uphill battle, and I did try, believe me, to save it, but no luck. So yeah, overall though, pretty successful first round, and I hope the season concludes relatively soon. It's been great fun, and I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It is something very different, but nonetheless, it's been great fun to film, and it's something a bit different. Again, from what I'm doing, and I won't do this for a while after the series is finished. I want to try and branch out into more Assassin's Creed again. But wow, it's been it's been a really intense but also fun challenge. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it and subscribe, and also tell your friends. It really helps. Word of mouth is so important. And yes, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome, I am your host, The Hidden One, and let's get right into another Call of War Let's Play. This is hashtag 4, episode 4 for this series. So we have won as the Southern United States, which is awesome. We came second overall, but we were in a coalition, and so we've won equally, and therefore the gold has been split. So I think I got 2,200 gold. So we defeated the Northern United States, and we
controlled all of the North American continent, and then we were making very good progress in Iberia. We controlled almost all of Spain and Portugal, and then we were going to easily dominate the entirety of the British Isles as well. And we didn't really have to do much from there. It was quite a really easy game to just get under our belts, and to start this series. So that was really good, and yeah, well done, guys, that were in it. Very good job. We were a good team, though obviously we got together at the last minute, but we were the strongest. So well done, all of you. Um, and then as for my other game, it has been very, very difficult. Romania and I are the only two active players left alive. Italy was active for a bit and helped, and then they went inactive, and pretty much every single AI is at war with me or has imposed a trade embargo, and this is even worse for Romania, seeing as they win the #1 spot. Um, we are currently fighting in Germany, Netherlands. He's fighting a completely messy war in Eurasia. It's a nightmare for him, and he's really struggling at the minute, as am I. Yeah, only today Italy declared war on me, and so I had to move a lot of troops from Germany to Italy, and my production isn't keeping up with the demand, and I've had to sacrifice my front in North America so that I can deal with the threat of Europe. So Germany just randomly declared war because the AI gets seriously aggressive towards countries that are doing well in the game. And so, yeah, I had to deal with that. I had a much larger army, but it's just been grounded down because of, Holland, the Netherlands was so OP. They had special artillery and stacks upon stacks of troops, basically because they're using the resources in Southeast Asia, and then they're just producing all of their troops in the Netherlands. So they just have a huge army in a really small space. So I've had to deal with that, and I've incurred a lot of casualties, but we're recovering. And then, so yeah, with this game, I think that's it really for that game. I don't really intend to spend much more time on it. I don't think I'll cover it in a future video because honestly, it's not very interesting. If I win, I'll let you know, but I don't think it's going to be an easy one to deal with, despite being at the #1 spot at the minute. And then as for everything else, I've started a new game as Greece, and we've had a really weird situation with Italy, where I've basically made him my little puppet, and he's a very nice guy. I feel really bad for invading him, and so yeah, then we decided that Syria wasn't really doing enough, so I've invaded them, but you can't see this at the minute because it's not up to date in the video that you're watching, but we are currently being attacked by Algeria, Germany, Ukraine, so many countries, and it's all turning into a disaster. Though at the minute I'm #1 in the world by a long way. I feel I've overextended, and maybe it's going to cause me issues in the long run, but we'll see. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me. Share this channel with your friends. That's the biggest one. That's the biggest thing you can do to help me. And I'll see you in the next one.